Welcome everyone. My name is Kathy Russell with WiSys, and today we're going to talk about how to automate and transform your ERP using WiSys. So WiSys is known as the warehouse management system that provides you real-time, fast, flexible, accurate data for your warehouse. But did you also know that WiSys brings automation, reporting, faster processing, and efficiencies to all the other areas of your business for the desktop, for the web, for any mobile devices that you have? So today what we're going to look at is the WiSys Agility standard out-of-the-box functionality that gives your company the ability and the power to streamline your business processes, giving you greater efficiency, allowing you to grow and change with many of the demands of today's business. So if you already have the product, as we go through this, are you using all of the available standard out-of-the-box capabilities that you already have? And if you don't have it, all of the things I'm going to show you today is part of the base application and available to you as any package. So I'm going to walk you through the different applications here. We have Agility Explorer Desktop, we have Agility Explorer on the web in a browser, Agility Explorer in our mobile app for iOS or Android, and you can also view it on a web browser, and you can use our WiSys widgets to look at it through your M10 Synergy web browser. These are the things that we are going to walk through, and let's get started. Right now I'm going to open up the Agility Explorer desktop, and so I have an icon here on my taskbar for Agility Explorer, and I have selected that icon. It is opening up our Agility Explorer application. Now here you can see on the left there is our WiSys menu here, and you can see that there are many different types of applications under each one of the menu items. So for instance, this opens up to our inventory bill of material menu. There is an item master and an item location master. These allow you to open up the grid styled applications here that you can see all of your inventory location master information here, all in a nice Excel grid style format here. So you have the ability here, this is a filter field across the top here. You can group, you can sort, you can filter. So these are filter boxes if you are looking for particular items. Oops. So I'm looking for something with chocolate ice cream. The more you type, the more you filter. It builds your filter down here, and you can get even more advanced with that filter. I'm going to click my X and remove that filter. There are also things like the inventory serial lot trace. If you do a serial lot items that you have out there, you have the ability to see all of that information and see the transactions and the existing serial numbers that are open for that particular item. You can put them on hold, you can add comments to those, and you can track what's going on and remove that hold if you want to here. So we have a lot of applications that are in here. For instance, if I look in my customer service area, I can look at my AR agings or AR pivots. Under my planning and forecasting here, I have some of my dashboard applications here. So for instance, I have an AR management interactive dashboard here. This takes me in to view my dashboards. I can see all my line information, and of course this changes as I click on the different areas, and I can drill down into an accounts receivable card here. I've got some IM order reorder advice. I've got a daily order calendar, some statuses. If I click under OE processing, I have many different menu items under here. The same with purchase order here. I've got some PO receipts. We give you the ability to close the PO line. And there are many different things, and I would encourage you to come in here and take a look at the menu items that are in here. Today we are going to walk you through some of our top features that will bring you some automation and some efficiencies and show you some of the reporting that goes with the standard out-of-the-box Agility Explorer desktop. They are bundled up, they are part of them, and my question is, are you using them? Because you do have them if you're using Agility. So let's get started and let's take a look. The first thing that I'm going to do here is I am going to go into my order processing here, and I'm going to import some orders. So we've got an OE order import from Excel here, and there's actually the old file import here. And we are going to import a spreadsheet from an Excel file. Now there's many reasons you might get an Excel file that you have orders from. Maybe you have a website that you need to pull them from. Maybe you have customers that send you an Excel import of what they want. But you can do this import from Excel. You can set up a mapping and you can regularly just automatically point to these files and pull these in and create the orders very quickly with this. So we have this set up here, and I'm going to choose import, and what I need to do is I browse out to my Excel file. So mine is loaded. This opens up by default to this directory here. I can browse anywhere on my network, but I do happen to have the file that's loaded right here. And I'm going to open up my import order for ice cream because this comes from my ice cream order web. I'm going to click OK, and I can see that it imported 52 rows here, and I'm going to close this. And you can see here are all the orders, the order lines that have been brought in from my Excel spreadsheet. So I've got Hy-Vee distribution order here. I can see the different line items. I can see the quantity that they've ordered, and I can go through and look at all the different line items that are all here. Now, if I need to, I can erase and I can wipe this out. But also here I'm ready to create my orders here, so I'm going to click orders. And we can see here's our PO 101011001, and we will go take a look at our application once we have this imported, and we will see how these orders were just created. So I have all my line items here and my different orders here with my different POs. This little checkbox here is telling me that they have all been created for the orders, and when this does this, it goes through our temporary file and it updates it and says that these have been processed, so that when I go look at this again, it won't pull in the ones that I've looked at before, but it keeps them in the table and it marks them as processed. Next, I'm going to come over here in my order processing, and we have the OE desktop console. And I'm going to open up the OE desktop console, and this is a list of my orders here, of all the orders that are in my system. We developed the console here to basically let you do all the things from one place that you would need to do for orders. So if I take a look at here, here's a list of my orders. Now right now they are sorted from the lowest to the highest, and I'm going to click on this little button here and it's going to change that. And now it's sorted from the highest order number down to the lowest order number. And if I take a look right here and I scroll down here, here's the different orders that I literally just imported into my system. So here's my order here for the Hy-Vee distribution. There's my PO number, and you can see it brought in my date here of 4/2. And if I wanted to edit this order, I don't have to go into Macola. If I'm using ES or EM10, up here on my ribbon bar, I have many different applications that I can use. Anything with a little caret here, like this add order, or in this instance edit order, is going to open up the Macola menu and allow me to work with that particular order here. So if I need to make a change to this, or I want to review this, I can simply click edit, and it is going to open up this order in the Macola menu, and I can see here's my PO number, here is all the information that was imported by my import orders process. So here's my items, here's my orders, and then when I am done with it, it looks like I have a price problem, so I probably ought to fix that. But here's all the header information that came from my import here, and when I'm done I simply click save, and I can close this, and I am right back here in my OE console in WiSys. So I can see all my different orders here, and that is the OE order import. And this is a nice easy view here if I want to then step into my pick management grid and I want to select maybe all of my orders here. In my pick management grid, I can look at all this down here, and as I click on my different orders I see the line items down here. That's order import. And next we will move on and now take a look at, I've created my orders, I have my demand. What do I see in my POP? Now POP is a separate module, but I have to produce some different items. So I'm going to walk through the POP production and show you that POP reorder advice. Before we go into the POP reorder advice report, let's take a look at on all the orders that I imported here. Here's one of the orders I imported, and you'll notice that here I have chocolate ice cream. I've got chocolate here, vanilla here, vanilla here. Those are pretty much the same on all the different orders with just different amounts there for the quantities there. But what I want to do is I'm going to take a look at, I'm going to open up inventory here, and I want to open up my inventory master list. And in my inventory master list I'm going to find those items, so I know they all start with a K, and I know the second part of my description has classic in it here. So real easy, I found those 4 items that I know are on all of those orders. But what I wanted to point out is I set my chocolate up here, and those are purchased items. So I won't see demand for those chocolate there. But here on my vanilla, I will see demand for they're set up as manufactured items in the Macola Item Master, and I will see demand for those. And you'll notice down here I've got my bill of material buttons. On my purchased items that isn't lit up, but when I go down to my manufactured items I've got my bill of material. I'm going to pop open bill of material, and I can see here that my components for that are sugar, cream, milk, and vanilla here. And they're the same for both of those items. I just have them set up the same here, but I can really easily see what is in those items. So now I'm going to come over here to my planning and forecasting. And in my planning and forecasting I've got my POP production advice. And I'm going to open that up. And here I can put in an item number range. I can put in a specific location. I have my MA location. I can select my order policy based upon my item master, how I have that set up. And then I can set percent over and amount over, that reorder amount. I can include all the quantities on order or everything, or I can do the reorder level only. I click OK. And when I look through here, these are all the things that it is recommending that I create POP orders for. So here you can see here's my vanilla, and it's telling me, if I look at this, I've got my reorder, my quantity available, quantity on hand, back order. I can scroll over and look at my usage, all of the information here. And then it's recommending, based on my criteria, that I create a POP order for 1,025 here. Actually, that's the wrong one. It's this one here, the VANI 100 gallon. It's recommending 712 and 476 on the tubs of ice cream, and that's due to the orders that I just put in here. So what I'm going to do is, first off, if I look at my vanilla ice cream in the gallon here, I've got a can build button down here, and I'm popping open my can build, and it's going to open for my gallon of ice cream product. And down here it opens up with the 1 here, and there's my sugar, my cream, my milk, and my vanilla. And I can see what I have on hand and what I am allocated. And so here, if I'm going to make 1, it's saying I have enough sugar. If I'm going to make the 713 and I click refresh, it's telling me I'm short on all 3 of them. So I need to order that. Now the sugar I know is set up as a item that I would want to replenish. The same with the cream and the milk and the vanilla. My sugar is allotted. But let's say I'm going to take this cream and I want to create a purchase order right from here. If I click on my replenishments, this is taking me into a create replenishment order, which is creating an unreleased purchase order. Now it's putting in the 713 that it's saying I need. I can specify my due date. Maybe I'm going to need this on Monday. And my vendor is 100, which is the vendor that's set up on my item master or my item location. Now I can leave it as being an unreleased purchase order, or I can check this box and not only can I create it, but I can release it at the same time. So I'm going to click release it at the same time, and I'm going to click OK. And it's going to go out there, and it created purchase order 129. It created it and it released it because I checked that box. So I'm going to click OK. And now from here I'm going to close my can build, and I'm going to go back planning and forecasting, pop production advice, and my settings are the same. Here is my ice cream. And if I want to create my 712, I'm going to select the ones. I can overwrite this. Maybe for whatever reason I can type in that I want to make 750. And then as I have them checked, I can click create order. And it is going to ask me, what do I want my due date to be? I'm not going to get my product in here until the 16th, and I'll probably cut POs for the rest. So maybe I'm going to say the 18th. I'm going to click OK. And they disappear off my screen because they've gone out and created a pop order. So now I'm going to close this pop production advice, and my pop orders are going to generate the demand for my component items also. So now what I'm going to do in my planning and forecasting here, I have an IM reorder advice. I'm going to go on ahead and open up the IM reorder advice, and you'll notice here in the IM reorder advice I have an item number range, I have a location range, and again the same preference range. Enter in my criteria, click OK. And you're going to notice down in here now, here is my vanilla, here's my cream, I have sugar here, and here is the quantity recommended here that it's telling me it thinks I need. That's a different sugar here. And so this is saying, based upon the calculation of those orders, that this is the quantities that it's recommending that I need to buy. You can see all the item master setup, what my reorder level is, what my quantity available. I can scroll all the way across here, look at my PO multiples, order up to, who's my buyer planner, all that information here that is on your item master. When I've decided what it is I want to create a PO on, I check the box here, and then you'll notice here I have a print that I can choose to print a PO, or I cannot print a PO. That's up to you, and it's just a matter of on each one of these lines that I want to process, changing that flag. I'm going to, just for fun, I'm going to make this be 2,000 instead of the recommended amount. And so I've got my vanilla, I've got my cream, I'm going to click PO create. And right from here I have now created my purchase orders. And I selected print on this first one, so my print is going up to the screen here, and you'll notice it's coming up here. It created purchase order 130, and it created it for 2,000 because I overrode that amount, and I can close that purchase order. And now it created the cream. Boom, it's done. I don't have that one sent to print, so it did not print that particular purchase order, but I'm done. If I wanted to come in here and look at my PO orders, I can come in here, and here's the 130 purchase order here that it created for that. I can pop open that purchase order, and here's my vanilla, here's my cream for that purchase order for that particular vendor. Alright, so that is the IM reorder advice. Next up, we're going to take a look at the purchase order receiving here. So on the menu, on the WiSys menu, this guy's down at the bottom, which will change if I drag these up or down depending on how much I show. But I'm going to click on purchase order. And we do have a purchase order master list that lets you release and print purchase orders, or a list view, or receivers list. But I'm going to come down here to transactions and I'm going to open up my PO receipts. So with WMS, you can do receiving on the handheld, but you can also do receiving on your desktop. So here on the desktop, I have my filter criteria to set a base filter. I can filter it by PO, vendor, item, product category, and then I can set a default receiving bin for my binned items. If I want, I can leave it blank and they will come out with an empty one and I'll have to enter it. Or I can override it if I set it to doc. You have control. Click OK. Here I see my PO receipt screen. So in my PO receipt screen, you can see here's the purchase order that I created. Come over here. Here's that 130 PO. And there's vanilla, there's my cream, there's my 2000, 2300. And if I look at this screen here, I have a line status that's giving me color-coded feedback to the status of all my purchase orders. So you can see I've got some open ones, received ones, this one's over-received by this line here, and you'll notice they match the alerts up top here. And then, if I look at my item number, based on my color coding, I can see my red is out of stock here. Yellow would be low stock, blue is my back-ordered item number, and I can scroll down and see the different colors here to help me manage and control my purchase orders. So looking across here, I can scroll over and I have my entry fields. Now these, they have bold titles here, which always says it's an edit field, and sometimes they can have blue outline boxes. That's just all based on the design, how it was set up. And so I have entry fields for the quantity to receive. I can set the doc date. I can control the bin number. Now these are binned items and I set my default to doc. I could click in that field if this were one I was going to receive and look that up and reset it. I have some additional entry fields. I've got my current quantity on hand, on order, allocated, what is my requested date, promise date, some additional entry fields here, pack number, carrier, bill to if I want to enter those. So when I find the ones that I want to receive, I simply check the boxes here, and I'm going to go on ahead, and here I'm going to receive just 1800. And then down here I'm going to receive this line item, and I'm going to leave it at 23 because I have my setting set to default in that quantity there for the remaining amount. And when I'm ready to receive that, I simply click receive, and those will now be received into my inventory. And you'll notice here that my quantity received changed. We do have 200 remaining here. So I can do receiving on my desktop. I can also open up a web browser. So I'm going to go on ahead and open up a web browser here. And let me drag this over here. And I'm going to open up, this is the Agility Web Explorer, and it is managed by the proper security, so I do need to log in. And this is the Agility Web Explorer. Now I'm seeing all the applications. These are standard out-of-the-box applications that come as part of the Agility product. And if I click on my menu here, this is my menu, I'm going to go down to Purchase Order. And in my purchase order, I have a PO Receipts Web. And I'm going to pop open my purchase order here, Receipts Web. I have the same ability to set a default receiving bin. I'm going to click OK. Now this is running on a different database because I don't have it set up with my virtual here. But you can see that here is a PO Receipts grid so that I can do my receiving also from a web browser here. If I want to close this menu, I just click the menu bar and I get more screen space. Now I can scroll across here. I've got my order number. Clear this off here. and I can scroll across here and I can see my description, my information. Here's my receive field, my dock date. Scroll across here, quantity on hand, on order, all that information here. And if I want to, let's see, what do I have for product? Let's see if I have any sugar in this database here. So I type in my quantity here, and I'm going to come over here to my receive amount. I ordered 1,000. I haven't received any. I've got 1,000 remaining. I'm going to go on ahead and I'm going to receive in 100. I check the box and I click the receive button here. Oh, my sugar is lotted here, so I'm going to scroll over here. So I've got my sugar. I'm going to receive in 100. Oops. And then I'm going to scroll over here, and I need a lot. So I'm just going to call it sugar 1, 2, 3, 4. And now I'm going to come back over here, and I'm going to come back up here, scroll up, and I'm going to click my receive button, and now I have received on my browser. So I can have a document set up here, in this instance in my desktop or here on my web. In this database here, we do have a document set up here. It's a receiving label, so it printed the document, and I'm going to select it and open it. And it's just a label that is going to print, and this is user defined. You can go on ahead and create your own. You can use ours and put in there what you want. Also up here you'll notice that these are my documents here, so I can open that up and it maintains all my documents. So these are previous ones. These have been looked at and viewed or printed. These are unread and nothing's been done with them. So you do have complete control over that. Now this grid view, depending on where you're doing it, is kind of wide and a little harder to manage. So I also have a tablet view here, and if I open up that tablet view, you're going to notice that over here I have the ability to change this to be display responsive, and then also to do a single row processing. When I do that and I set my layouts that way, this gives me, instead of having the grids across the bottom, I click on my ellipsis and I see all the rest of the rows or the columns that are there in one nice shot here. So all that information is here. When I'm done with that, I can close that. My edit buttons, they may be on my screen here, but if I have more, I can choose this edit button. And now all those edit fields, the receive, the dock date, bin, lot, carrier code, they're all right here. Now that's handy on the browser screen in Agility Web Explorer. But I also have, I'm going to drag here, this is a little iPad mini that I have here. And I'm just connected with it via Air Server. And I have our Agility mobile app loaded on here. So it is, as you will see, it's right here. And I'm going to go on ahead and open up the Agility mobile app. And when I open up that application here, again, I'm seeing all the same full applications that come with the Agility Web Explorer. Now this is always growing and changing. I'm going to open up my menu, and I'm going to choose purchase order, and you're going to see the same screen. I've got the PO web receipts here, so I'm going to open up PO web receipts, and on here I'm going to close my menu, so I'm touching my menu button. And if I'm working with this on the floor here, maybe I'm out at a dock where I don't have Wi-Fi, so I can very easily go on ahead and use this on maybe a cellular service here on a tablet, and I'm going to go on ahead and select go, and you can see it's exactly the same as what we just looked at on the browser. Now I have this in tablet mode already, so you'll notice here that I'm going to touch my little 3 ellipses here that are on the right side. So I'm selecting my finger on my little ellipsis here, and I've opened up, just using my finger to scroll up and down here. Your finger, your pen, whatever it is you might have or use. But here are the remaining information for all the columns that are there. And I'm going to click that close. If I want to edit it, I'm going to click on the edit on the left side there, and I get all the same information. So this does the same thing here if I'm on my website here, or on my tablet, I mean. So I can do Agility Web right here from my tablet, and I'm going to select my 50, and I'm going to go on ahead and select my bin here. Whoops, I'm having a login, it's trying to kick me out. And it kicked me out. But anyhow, it's available in the Agility Web, same thing there, and you can do that right from the receiving here. So I am going to go on ahead and close this now, and we'll go back to the demonstration. So as you can see, you can do the PO receiving from the desktop. You can do the PO receiving from a web browser, and you can do the PO receiving from a Agility mobile app, which makes it easy to work on a tablet, or even on, we have apps like the multi-level view for items. Maybe if we get to the end, I'll show you that on the web too, so it makes it really easy to look that up. So that is your PO receiving. And the next thing that I want to show you with POs are in Macola. When you close POs or want to close POs, you have to open up any lines that aren't complete. You have to deal with those lines, and you have to print those out. Now WiSys has a PO close PO line process, which is going to show you all the lines that are on a PO that have not been fully received. You'll notice on here I see the quantity order, quantity received, and the remaining amount, and a quantity canceled. If you want to close the lines and you're not going to receive this in anymore, you can simply close this PO or the PO lines. And what it does is it takes the amount of the quantity ordered here and minus anything that you've received, and it puts that balance into the quantity canceled. So let's just say that I'm going to close this PO, this 4,400 here, and what it will do is it's going to cancel all of this, and it's going to cancel 95 here, and I simply choose close PO line. Now all the lines on this PO are closed. When I go in Macola to run the actual close PO, the lines are all taken care of, and it will let me close that PO. So if I want to take a look at that, I can come up here into my PO order master list here, and if I looked at my 44, here is my PO, and I want to drill into that purchase order, and you can see here that my purchase orders are all in here, and my quantity ordered has been adjusted, and my quantity canceled is there in my purchase order dialog view here. Also, if somebody were in the PO receipts and they were managing this and wanted to get rid of some things that were on here, they aren't going to get them in. You'll notice you have a close line right here too. So you can do the same functionality from under PO receipts, or you can open up a menu item and manage that way also. So that is the PO receiving and the PO close line. So those are some great improvements on how to handle the purchasing area. The next area that we're going to take a look at is we're going to look at the order processing. So I'm going to click on order processing menu here, and you can see I have a lot of different items for some dashboards, the order entry stuff, some order views for statuses, pick management, and some processing here. We're going to go on ahead and open up the OE pick management here, and I have criteria over here to set my first filter. I can of course set my date range here. I can do all dates. I can put a date range in, my location, click OK, and I see all of the orders that are sitting out here waiting to manage for my pick management. This particular component can fill several different roles. So in here you can see I have the order number, I have the status, and we pick by the line items. So I have my item number, quantity to ship. I can see I've got some alerts here with some back orders. I've got some shortages here for I see my quantity on hand, quantity back ordered, and what I'm able to fill here. Scroll over and get some more information, the build to, the ship to, item description, PO. Now, if I want to drag this around, maybe I want my PO moved over where I can see it, I could drag this and move it over here. I am going to be the inventory person right now, and I'm going to take a look at what I need to do to fill my back orders or to look at order fulfillment here. And I have a requirement that says I need to take care of my distributors first. So I know that I have my customer types set up, and my customer type field here is showing on my grid. And I'm going to drag this customer type field over. And I'm going to bring it over here, maybe where I can see it a little bit better here. And I've got my customer type. I'm going to put it over here in front of the customer number. So I have it in front of the customer number, and I need to look at my distributors first. I can see that I have product to fill back orders, and I'm going to fill the distributors first, but I want to look at this by customer type and then maybe by item. So what I can do is click on my customer type, which is going to sort this by customer type. I can scroll up, I can see this is my convenience stores. I come down here, I've got distributors, and then I've got retailers. So I've sorted this by my distributors, but now I also want to sort it after distributors by the item number. I hold my shift key down and I click on item number, and then you're going to see now that I have it sorted by the customer type first, and then I have it sorted by the item number next. And I can hold my shift key down and just keep creating a cascading sort order here. Now I could do this that way so that I'm going to filter maybe on just my distributors. And I want to create a layout because I want to come in here and look at my distributors first. So I could go on ahead up here. I'm going to go to display and I'm going to save a layout. And I'm going to go on ahead and I'm going to call this item, line item, sort, distributors. And when I click save, you're going to see that I have under here various other sorts here, but here I have my line item sort. Now if I close my OE Pick Management, and I just click on the main screen, it's going to open exactly the same screen without the sort, without the criteria. This is our default layout. But if I click on my layout here, line item sort, and these can all be controlled with security or roles to see who gets to see them or who gets them. This is just my distributors. So that's one way that I can make it very easy to manage whatever that criteria is that I need to watch for. Maybe it's that I need to ship Walmarts out in 24 hours, or a particular customer or user-defined field could be that I need to manage that and have a special criteria. Another way that I could do it is I have my OE Pick Management here again, just the base grid. I have a group by that's been added up here. I could do the same thing where maybe I'm going to group it by the customer type, so I drag it up here to my group by. If I scroll back over here, you can see that it has now grouped these together by that type. I have the ability to expand each one of those if I want them to open and close. Or I can come over here and I can right click and do a full expand, collapse the ones I want, whatever I want. So I have them grouped by the distributor, and I could drag the item up and group it underneath that also. Or I can just simply then group it, click on the item number, and it's going to sort it by the item. It's grouped by the customer type and then by the item. Now I can save this out there. So I'm going to go back to display. I'm going to save this, and now I want my fill back orders by cus type group. Now, so you notice that it created the fill back orders by cus type group. When I click on that one, it's going to keep it like this and maintain it. So now I can come in here and I can very easily manage just my distributor orders. So in here I can see that I have enough quantity here to fill my back orders. So if I'm looking at my chocolate and I have my item quantity on hand, my allocated, I have plenty to fill my back orders. So I can come under here under my distributors. Maybe I want to sort for everybody. Maybe I'm just going to worry about my distributors. And I can simply do a fill back order. And all of my chocolate for the ones that I have selected is then filled. So if I collapse, now I didn't do these because I didn't select these customers, I only did the distributors, but maybe I want everybody for chocolate. And then I can select all of that and fill the chocolates. So here, all of these back orders filled, and I got to pick and choose who I filled back orders on. Now, looking at my vanilla here, you can see that it's still not filled, and I don't quite have enough to fill everybody. So I'm going to pick and choose who I'm going to fill. So I do have enough to fill all of these, but for whatever reason I only want to fill customer 307 or order 307 and 316. I'm going to come in here in my quantity to ship, and they wanted 200, so I'm going to go on ahead and give them 200. I'm going to go down to 316. They also want 200. And I still have enough here that maybe I'm going to fill 307 too, and I'm going to give them 100. And when I have them all selected, the ones that I want to fill, they're checked. I've put a quantity to ship in. I'm going to do change quantity. And I click change quantity. You're going to see it refresh. I'm going to go on ahead and go back up to my distributors here. And you can see that my vanilla, for the quantities that I did, it filled those back orders, and now those are ready to ship. So that makes it very easy as the person fulfilling those orders, doing the back order fulfillment, to adjust quantities. Whoops, maybe I didn't mean to fulfill this one, so I can check it again, and I'm not going to give them 100, so I'm going to take it away. Again, change quantity again, and if I come down here and I look at my distributors again, you can see it put that 100 back on back order because that's how they're set up. Very easy to do inventory order fulfillments line by line and let you control who you're going to fill. So that's coming at this from the perspective of an order line fulfillment person. I'm going to now look at this from the person who wants to go on ahead and actually, let's do this. I am going to come in here and I'm going to do my line item sort. And I know that I have all of my chocolates here. Let's get rid of my sort and take it back. I'm going to find all my chocolates. I know that's ready. And there's all my chocolates. And these are all ready to fill. I can check all of these, and I'm going to tell it to fill the back order. So all my chocolates are ready to fill. And let's go on ahead and now I'm going to look at my vanillas. And I want to fill a few more orders here so I can ship them. And I'm going to go on ahead and let's say I'm going to fulfill some of these top orders here just because I want to have some orders here to confirm ship. And I know I have enough for all of these. Let's see, 307, 309. I want to fill. And I'm going to fill 309. You can see how easy it is to pick and choose. There's 310. Oops, obviously I sorted on it backwards. And then let's fill 312 I already have. So I'm going to do a quantity change on these. And then it's going to do that update and fill those back orders. So now I've closed my pick, and I'm going to come in here in the OE pick management, and I'm the person that has to print the pick tickets and send them out to the floor so that the orders can be filled. I want to look at this by the request date. So what I'm going to do is, or my promise date here. So I've got a promise date here, and I'm going to drag this up, and I'm going to group it by promise date. And you can see that I have various different promise dates. I could make them all expand, or I can just take a look at these particular orders. Now if I'm one and the same, I could fulfill them at the same time. I have enough. Let's go on ahead and I'm going to give this guy their product. And I've got enough here, so I'm also going to go on ahead. I could do this. I don't have to, because my goal as this individual is to actually be printing my pick tickets. So I'm going to fulfill that, and then I've got a good group to do. So let me do a quick quantity change. So my dates are there. And I am going to go on ahead. And I want to save this, so every time I come in here, it's grouped by my promise date, and those that I promised, I'm going to print the pick tickets and manage those orders first. I want to save this layout, and I'm going to go on ahead and go to Display, Save As, and this is going to be my pick ticket print view. So here I have a pick ticket print view, and whoops, if I open this up, you'll notice it saves that grouping just like I want. So I have many different views of the exact same screen. I can move the columns around, I can change them. If I'm sitting on here, I can go up to Display and I can open up the security and I see all those views. And here I can say what role or what person gets to see these or have them on your menu, so you don't have to give them to everybody, or everybody doesn't have to see them. Very easily manageable. Now I want to print my pick tickets. So I'm going to come out here and I'm going to select everything that's on this date. They're all ready to go. I want the 4th. They're all ready to go. And I could come down here and whatever I want to choose. Maybe I'm ready to ship out a partial. I can pick and choose. I want this to go, these aren't ready, and I can pick and choose all of this. So I'm just going to leave him alone for right now, but I pick and choose which ones I want, and now I'm going to go on ahead and I'm going to print my, let's see, 312. Perfect. I'm going to print my pick tickets, and off they go. They're opening up my print screen. Now I think I have this set to go up to the screen, so here's my pick tickets. And you can see I have them. You would send them off to the printer, I guess, or you can send them to the screen if you really don't want to print them. But they're all barcoded and ready for the floor if you need all the barcodes on there, and you can use our out of the box or you can have your own. So they're done. Did they print okay? I have to say yes to advance them to a status of 4. I'm going to say yes. So now they're printed. And I, as the pick ticket preparer, can easily manage those by date and print them when I need them. Next up, before we go much further with the OE, I'm going to open up one of our dashboards. We've got an OE processing dashboard. We have a lot of customers, they kind of do a manage to zero to make sure that all the orders that hit the floor are being processed through. So this is one of our OE processing dashboards. It's looking at the orders that are moving from the status of picked all the way through invoiced. And you'll notice I have the statuses here. Down here I have the detail of the line items. Over here I've got an easy grid that tells me I've got some future orders, so these are ones that are past today that I know I have coming, and then I've got some sitting out here that haven't been handled and maybe I need to get somebody to research them. But over here in my in process here, you'll notice if I click on any of these, right now they're all orders. I'm going to click on the pick ticket printed and it's just showing me the orders that are in a 4 status. If I click on 7 shipped, you're going to see the orders that are in shipped. And then of course I have one that's sitting there and it's already been invoiced. So it's very easy to look and manage, and I could drill into this and open up the order dialog here for each one of these orders. And we'll come back to that towards the end. So I'm going to go on ahead and close this dashboard quick. And I'm done in pick management, so I have a couple of different views here. Actually, I'm going to come over here and close everybody. And the next thing that I'm going to take a look at is I'm going to do a simple confirm shipping. So in here we do have, if you don't need full-blown shipping capabilities here, we have a confirm ship process which just does a simple confirm shipping. I've got some filters here that I can set my base data here in my grid, and then of course my filters across the top. Here if I go on ahead and I scroll down, I got a lot of orders that are waiting out here, but here's my orders for the ones I just processed, and I printed my pick tickets. So I'm going to go on ahead, and again if I wanted to group them I could. So maybe I'm going to group them by order and then I can do an expand. I'm going to select, here's my 307, there's my 308, 309, here's some of my orders, or I could just expand everybody. And I can save this if I like to do my billing or my confirm shipping by that. I'm going to scroll down here and find my orders I just processed. So here's 307. I want everybody to ship, but I could pick and choose and turn off particular line items. And of course I can change the quantity here. If it's a binned item, I would need to input a bin. If it is a lot item, like my vanilla is, I do have one set up here for a lot. So I need to go pick and choose and find a lot. There's a lot number that I'm shipped. And it filled the lot number in here. I want to ship 308. And I'm going to scroll down here. And again, you can see I only ship partial. This one, I don't ship any. I didn't have any, so I'm not going to. I can leave these checked, but there's none shipped here. So however I want to do it. I'm going to do 309, and I have everything ready to go here. Again, this particular item is lotted, so I need to input the lot number. If it's binned, I would need to input a bin number. So here again, same process. Now we do have a confirm bill also, which lets you do the same thing in a confirm bill status, so you can pick all your line items at once and you don't have to open order by order by order. I'm not going to do 311, haven't processed that one yet, so I'm going to come down here and I am going to grab 312, again whichever ones I want, lotted. And I'm all done. I've got everything done. I'm going to hit my confirm ship and off they go. I've just done my confirm ship for all of these items. So it processed at 18 line items, and that is a confirm ship. We do have confirm ship available in Agility Web Explorer as a standard product too. And so you can do it on the web if you wanted to. You could do it here on the desktop or in Agility Mobile. Next up, I'm going to come in here and I'm going to do some order billing. So in my order billing, you can see the orders I selected, 307, 8, 9, 10, 12. Those are all out here. I've also got some older orders out here that have already been confirmed shipped, and I'm going to select them first. So I'm going to go on ahead and select these orders. Now when I do these, you can see these are edit fields. If I need to add freight, I can add freight, or I can change the freight. So whatever that needs to be, maybe I want a miscellaneous amount. This is my additional comments in any of these 3 comment fields. Select what you want. And some of the cool things about WiSys is you can build these to do multiple steps. And the order billing is one of those that is built that way. So I'm going to choose billing, and it's going to come up and say, do you want to bill and do you want to invoice at the same time? And I can say yes or no. This time I'm going to leave it at no, and I'm going to go on ahead, and you'll notice here's my order numbers. Click OK. And then I'm going to open up my order invoice. So in my order invoice, here's my order invoice numbers that I just billed. They're sitting here waiting for me to go on ahead and invoice those. Now I'm going to come back over here and I'm going to go to OE billing. I've got the orders that I confirm ship. Now before I do that quick, I'm going to pop into my processing dashboard, and you're going to notice here that my dashboard has changed. And so here, my shipped orders, and I can see those are the shipped ones here. Here's my billed orders, the ones I just processed, and of course there's my loan invoice out there. He's still sitting there. Now again, here's my shipped orders. These are all drillable, so I can very much click on this guy and it's going to go on ahead and it's going to drill me into my OE order invoice. So it took me into my OE order dialog, and I can see everything that's on the order here. So I can see any order information, whatever it is that I might need to look at, and I can close those. And obviously I opened it a few too many times, so patience, right? So drillable into whatever you define it to be, but this is an out-of-the-box dashboard that's there. So I'm going to go on ahead and close that, and we're going to go back to our order billing. This time I'm going to select all the rest of them. I could put in this information. I'm going to choose my billing button and I'm going to say yes, I want to invoice them at the same time. Click OK, and it's all printing the invoice because I have it attached. Now these would go off to the printer. My price isn't set right, but here's my invoice that's going to go out to the customer. And it's going to go through and print each one of those. Yours would go off to a printer or to a file, wherever you want them to go. And it's going to print each one of these invoices here. And you can see each one that gets done as it's going through. And boom, they are all billed. And if I pop over here to my OE invoice, I'm going to click refresh. None of them are sitting over here in my OE invoice. They're not here. If I go over here into, we have an OE order void invoice, which allows you to just check them and void them. I should have opened that before. But here are my 3 orders because they have been billed and invoiced. And here's 307, 8, and 9. If I wanted to void any or all of them, all I got to do is check a box, click void invoice, and off they go. They're back under the OE order invoice. So maybe I wasn't ready to do 307. And if I pop back in here to OE order invoice, you can see now that my 307 is sitting here. I voided it. It's ready for me to re-invoice it because it wasn't quite right. So I need to go fix my pricing. But here it is. Very easy to manage all of the orders in groups and in mass, to do confirm shipping, to do billing, to do invoicing. And the other thing here is, remember way back in the beginning, we opened up that OE desktop console. And in the OE desktop console, if you're Macola ES or you are a Macola M10, you can post right from here. So I can click the post invoices and I could run this and it's going to post all of those that are sitting at a status 9. And I don't have to go open up Macola. So that is the OE posting. Let's go over here and take a look back in order processing. I'm going to open up that dashboard one more time, and you're going to notice I have a few more out here that are sitting and invoiced, and it's giving me the status of those as I go through them. Now if I went ahead and posted, those in the 9 would have dropped off and I would no longer have a 9, and I could see that those were processed out. So that is some of the cool feature enhancements to help you speed up billing, invoicing, confirm ship if you need it. Definitely pick management. Take a look at those plus all the other stuff. And let's move on to looking at some of the reporting. So to look at some of the reporting here, let's take a look. We've seen the OE processing dashboard. You've got a ton of grids and views and drill downs to look out for reporting. All of those can be exported to Excel and to PDF. Any grid can be exported here. These dashboards also can be exported here. So you've got a little export here to PDF or to do a print preview here. I'm going to open up, we've got an OE sales history dashboard here. It's got some top 25 customers. Drill into the sales orders that are here. You've got a by salesperson, by customer type. All of that information is available to you. We've got an OE order history pivot here, so you can go in here and it works just like a pivot table. You can drag these down and rearrange these, so potentially maybe I want them by not only the bill person, but I want salesperson, then bill to, is an easy pivot here. Now sales history can have a lot of data, so it may take a minute if you've got tons and tons of data out there. Another in the planning and forecasting area here, we've got some AR management interactive dashboard here, really cool. Shows you your AR aging, and again down here you can see the invoices that are out here, and if I click on the different sections it's going to interactively drill into each of the areas. I've got it by customer type, can see my AR turns, and again I can drill into this. And I clicked on my particular invoice here, it took me into a customer aging. I can see everything that they have. If I needed to print a quick AR aging for the customer, I could. I can see their balance. I can go on ahead and drill into the invoice, and from here this will open up the history dialog. I could reprint the invoice, so very easy to manage and drill into that data. Here, if I want to come over here under forecasting and planning, there is also an order daily calendar here. So in my order daily calendar, I can look at the different types of statuses, click OK, and I can see everything that I have done for the day. So for instance, on the 14th, I can see that I have picked, shipped, billed, invoiced. And if I select these down here, the orders will show down here. So as I'm going into each one of these, picked, shipped, billed, invoiced, all of that information is out here. And if I want to select one of these line items, I can click on the order. If it's been invoiced, I can click on invoice and it'll open up that same OE history dialog. I could reprint the invoice. But very easy to get some information here on what we did. So these are the orders that I had, and I input them on these days that we did with the import. Some of them were out for future days, but this is everything that I did today here, and you can see all those totals. Those don't go away or change for the days. Those are values that are looking at your orders and order history table. So that is a daily calendar that's very easy to open up and use. So those are some of the dashboards that we have out there. Now I also wanted to show you, if I take a look at my Agility web, and I guess I've got the address there. You'll notice I have a lot of these exact same dashboards that are out here in my Agility Web Explorer. So here's the AR Management Interactive Dashboard. Same thing, looks exactly the same. It's available in a web view. So you could look at it in your web browser. You could look at it on a tablet in the Agility Mobile here. I still happen to have my iPad connected up here. So I'm looking at the same view. I can click on the AR Management Dashboard here. I would select it with my finger on my tablet here. And it's going to open up the exact same dashboard. So I'm running the same screen on my Mini, and of course, whatever's the easiest way to view it, it'll move to however you have your tablet. Also on the phone, there's a lot of different ones here that, if I want to go back, I've got some that are designed for the mobile. So this is just an OE mobile one here, and this is just a very simple status of orders so everybody can see what's going on. This would be easy to display on a phone or on like an iPad mini or whatever your tablet happens to be. So again, easy version, desktop, browser, Agility Mobile, all out here and available. So the same ones, the OE, I've got the, if I come over here to the order processing, I can see here is my dashboard here for the OE processing dashboard, the sales history one, exact same screen. It's on a different database, but it's showing me the same thing. So many different ways to get to the same data out of the box as part of your Agility system. So that's what we have for you today on the many ways that you can automate a lot of your processes, do them very efficiently in bulk, and a lot of the different reporting that is out here and available. If you are an M10 user, I guess let me show you that quick here. So if you are an M10 user, one of the other options, if you are using the M10 Synergy environment, is I just went ahead and opened up my Synergy environment here, and it's opening. But we also have WiSys widgets, and you can set up WiSys widgets to work in your Synergy environment here. So the things that are available out here in the Agility web environment can also be pulled into your Synergy application as WiSys widgets. So that same OE processing dashboard is sitting out here. We've added it into the Synergy page. We've got pick management that's out here. Here's another sales analysis, quick and easy sales analysis, confirm ship, OE billing from the web can be done out here. And to add these, it's a matter of setting up the ability of the WiSys widget. And you come in here, choose WiSys widget, browse to what they are, exactly the same way you would add any of the other N10 Synergy widgets here. Give it a title, company, whatever that is, specify the company if I'm multi-company, and then is it a dashboard, a grid, what is it I'm looking for, and I can see all the different dashboards that are sitting out here and available, and I can pull them into my Synergy home pages. So you have a lot of options for a lot of the out-of-the-box product that's out here with any part of the WiSys Agility product. Thank you very much for joining us today, and if you have any questions, you can feel free to email me, krussell@wisys.com, or Bob Hawk, bhawk@wisys.com, and we would be happy to answer any questions further. Thanks again.